Hi, this is Dina with Pretty Productive. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining me. And please consider subscribing and hitting the alert for all future videos. So sorry, I seem to have wanting to lose my voice today, but we're gonna get through this. So today what I'm going to be doing is the November budget setup, and tomorrow I will do the October recap and the cash stuffing for the month of November. But when I do this in one video, it takes a long time, and I need to have this part done so I know what cash I'm gonna pull out tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to be working on first is this sheet, which is how I lay down my budget. And I've used this for years. It really helps me to see a snapshot. I watch a lot of videos. Some have very detailed lists and they have pages for each month. Other ones use just a month at a glance. And I think it's great that there are so many options, and I think you should always look to see what works for you. This one has just worked for me over the years. I'm also going to be using a new kit that will be listed in my shop hopefully this weekend for November. Kind of that fall vibe. And then the monthly kit as well. I'm going to be using that. I also learned a lesson last month when I tracked every single transactions on my monthly view of my planner, that my labels were too big for as many transactions. So I either had to have less transactions or try a thinner label. So I did make up some thinner labels that I'm going to kind of test out in the month of November and see how they do. So same number of labels as my other sheets, it's just it's laid out differently and they are thinner. So that's what you're gonna see. And of course, I am using my monthly deluxe planner, and we're gonna lay down the month of November. So as a sneak peek, the month of December, there are gonna be major changes in my budget. Some that are good, some that are really tough to take, but overall I just can't say it yet because there's some announcements being made, so I can't say anything yet. But so November stays status quo, and then December you're gonna see some huge changes in my budget. So let's go ahead and get started. So for the month of November, most of this month is going to stay the same. My daughter is going to be on her own insurance, and we are looking maybe to separate our family plan on the phone, so she won't be paying me for that. So it'll come down in my budget, and then I won't have this as income. But for now, we're still kind of looking at what's the best for them financially as well. My other daughter will start to pay her bills that I've been covering in the month of December. So you'll see $200 come back into the budget. My bonus is next month. Expense check is $154 as usual. I did get rid of my office phone since I never use it. So you'll see that out of the budget next month as well. So for my mortgage, we are still escalating the payment for $3,400. My cell phone, which is why I think my girls need to get on their own, went up $30 because we went way over our data plan. So my one daughter did send me $30 because she was the culprit. So I'll put that in as income, and it offsets that extra $30 here. Telephone $45, internet $100, Netflix $15. Now my water bill, because my husband traveled all last month, or all the month of October, my water bill was only $97. I have not seen a $97 water bill since before we got our pool. Electric bill, I don't know yet. I'm going to put $320. We had a kind of a hot October, but again, with just me here, I don't know if that is gonna help like it did on the water bill, but I'm gonna put $320 in for now. My electric bill last year for the month of October, and I am just getting ready to set up my 2021 book, but October, my electric bill was $235. So that would be fantastic, but I'm gonna leave it at $320 because we've been unusually warm. Life insurance, $106. Auto insurance, I'm gonna put $303. This is gonna change around. We're taking cars on and off and we're trying to figure this one out. So I'm gonna put $303. That may be a lot higher. It might be a little bit lower. I'm not really sure yet. Gas, I'm gonna put $25, and that is natural gas. Cable, we don't have. Pest control, we will have service this month. I'm gonna put $90, and I put $75 a month away for our HOA that is paid quarterly. Elements is $70, Audible is $16. So our income is $10,264. Our fixed expenses, as I estimate them today before the month starts, will be $5,012. And what's interesting, it's always around 5,000. You know, and you would think it'd really fluctuate because of electricity and things like that, but I don't know. I could just pretty much say 5,000 and that's gonna be the number. So lifestyle for giving will be $400. Now I am gonna leave that completely in the account because they would prefer us to give online, and then there's no touching of the money. You can put a check in the box, but I'm just gonna leave it in line and give online. Groceries, I'm gonna take back up to $500 since my husband will be here. Eating out, $200. Clothing, I'm gonna put $100 because while I do have winter clothes, like when I was pulling out my winter clothes, because it did dip into the 70s in Arizona, I noticed like I need to replace some t-shirts and things like that. I have plenty of sweats, leggings, things like that, but I do need to replace some of the tops. Allowance, I'm gonna go back to $250. I did pretty well on the $200 for last month, but I'm gonna take it back to $250 and see how that goes. Household is gonna be $240. So last month I did $300 because I was still buying things for the house. I really do not need anything else for the house, so I'm gonna put that back to $240. Entertainment, I'm gonna put $100. Personal care, I am going to put $50 because I still have $55 from last month. Medical copays, I am going to put $100. Craft supplies, I am going to put $100. And random act of kindness, I'm not going to do because I'm just really having a hard time finding a place to donate that. So if I do go to the grocery store and there's something I can donate to, I'll just either take it out of my grocery money or create this fund again. So my lifestyle expenses. Oh, there was one that I added. I added a Thanksgiving category. So normally what I do for Thanksgiving, I just increase my groceries by 100. So I have 600 for that. But I'm going to just keep this separately. So what we do, and I don't even know what's gonna happen this year. Normally the Sunday before Thanksgiving, we get together. It's more like a potluck. So I normally spend between $30 and $40 for my share. And then on Thanksgiving Day, it's just my immediate family and we do something a lot more casual, like Mexican food or something. So I'm gonna just put $100 and I'm gonna keep the Thanksgiving money separate. I won't pull it out till the third week of the month, just so that I can really keep it separated from my groceries and what I'm really spending versus what I'm spending as a unique time. I'll do the same thing for Christmas as well. So when I look at lifestyle, and this is one area that I can always cut down if money is tight, and you know, your fixed expenses are what they are. But you definitely can shave a little bit in lifestyle if you need to. So $21.40. So on this part down here, I'm gonna bring my income down I'm gonna bring my fixed expenses over. Bring my lifestyle in. So 10,264 minus 4012 minus 2140. So my sinking funds is 3,112. So that's been about what it's running. You're gonna see a major change in this category in the month of December. But again, we'll talk about that next one. This month is gonna be fine. I don't know what next month is gonna bring. Okay, so I wanna touch base on Christmas. So my Christmas gifts category. So my goal was to have 3,000 in that account. Let me see where I put this one. At the end of, beginning of November, so that I can start Christmas shopping on Black Friday. Huh, where did I do that with that? Okay, hold on, let me find it. Because I wrote it all out because this is what saves me every year. Because at the beginning of the year, I figure out what this account needs to be. And I think at this point, my nieces and nephews aren't going to have any more kids, but you don't know for sure. Wow, what happened to it? Okay, well, we'll just rewrite it. Okay, let's just rewrite it. Okay, so how I figure out what I need to have for my Christmas fund. So throughout the year, we have birthdays that come out of gifts, bridal showers, new babies, things for work, things like that. So this is how I set up my gifting, but obviously the big part of it is definitely Christmas. So I make a list of all of the people that I buy for and then all the buckets that I buy for during the holidays. So for example, the way we do it in our family is I have three sisters, there's 4 girls altogether. And what we do is we buy for any of the kids that are under the age of 21. Once they become 21, they kind of age out, and then we do like a gift card exchange or something like that that they can participate in. We do stocking stuffers. We do, like I do my family separately, and then we do like a potluck for Christmas, same for Christmas Eve. And then I always have a separate budget that's baking, you know, things like that, crafts for the holidays that comes out of this fund. And then I have one more bucket that is basically food related. Like you saw me put for Thanksgiving, it's the same thing for Christmas. So I'm going to very quickly list all of my nieces and nephews' kids. I don't have any grandkids right now, but these are all the ones that I purchased for. I don't know what I did with this, so I'm sorry that you're having to watch me do this again. A few of them I have bought already. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, so there's 11 kids. I spend 30 each. So this is a total of $330. Then for my family, got my $2, my husband, and my son-in-law. And I'll average $500 each, and that includes their stocking stuffers, anything. And you know, I try to stay under that budget, but it has to go within this budget. So that is $2,000. And then we have stocking stuffers for the family. And this will vary because it's, you know, if they're not there on Christmas morning, if they're with their, you know, other side of the family, then they don't participate in the stocking, so that part comes off. And I do a lot of baking and things like that for this category as well. But this is always, I always want to estimate high so that I'm not short of money and I'm not scrambling at the last minute to pay for anything for Christmas. Okay, so I just kind of say 50 each, knowing that's probably going to be less than that. So that is 350. So my family plus these two. Then I always have a work category, because you know how there's always like something at work you want to do, like a gift exchange, white elephant, or people want you to go in on like your boss or whatever. So I'm just going to put 150 because quite frankly, we are so spread out right now with COVID that I don't know if we're going to need that. And then I'm going to put food. So I have 2,000 plus 330 plus 150 plus 350 minus 3,000. So I'm going to put 170 for food. So my goal has been 3,000 all year long. So right there is how I lay out the 3,000. Now, what changed this year was we added 2 additional kids into the mix. We added more into the day, and again, we don't know for sure here. And then last year for work, I just independently did like my boss and things like that. This year we're doing more of a group type things. So we'll see how that goes. So that is where I come up with the $3,000 that I started for last January. So at the beginning of 2021 in January, after Christmas is done, I'll take a look at this. Is this realistic? Do I need to bring down the amount I spend on each person, or do I need to save a little bit more money? Like for my family, I always spend more on my husband, obviously. And then Hannah and Colton, because they're married, I tend to put more of their together gifts. And then Megan is single, so she gets like the full amount. So that's kind of how I work it out. But I do like to estimate that each person's going to have the same amount. So that is why I need to have $3,000 in my Christmas gifts fund for the beginning of November. Okay, let me find my November sheet that we were just working on. Okay. So I currently have in my Christmas fund, or Christmas gift fund, is $21.45. In my emergency sinking fund, I have $5,552. Now this is above and beyond our regular 3 to 6 month emergency fund that we have in another bank. This is just my personal, I want to have it attached to my checking account, or very easy to move. It is in my Capital One 360. For fitness, $200. Medical, $100. Vacation, $220. And then I always just write in $154 because my expense check goes into this account. So that's just, I'm not funding this right now. I'm not planning any vacation until June, and it's fully funded. It's already paid for. We've moved the trip 3 times, and I don't have any other vacation plans right now. House reno, I have $342 left, and technology $427. Now technology is my iPad breaks and I want to replace it. It's probably my most used thing. I just bought a new phone, just bought a new laptop, but things could happen, or I might need a monitor or something like that. So I always have a technology fund so that if I need to replace something, I can do it. I don't need to put it on a credit card. And I'll just keep, you know, building it up until, you know, I feel like there's enough in there. Should something major happen, our house gets broken into, pay the deductible for our homeowners, anything like that. So in my sinking funds right now, I have $10,966. And so how am I going to split the $312? $3,012. Thank God. So right away, I'm going to put $1,000 into Christmas and gifts. So we have one more birthday between now and Christmas, and that's that money is still in my checking account from my October sinking fund because it's like the very beginning of the month. So I just left that in. I did spend part of it on a bridal gift that I purchased. I'm sorry, a baby gift that I purchased. So I don't need to pull from this other than Christmas this year. Fitness, I'm not going to fund. Medical, I'm not going to fund. Emergency fund, I am going to fund with $1,000. I've been trying to just do $1,000 a month just to kind of start to build that up. I want to have it by the end of the year. Well, really not the end of the year. So if I have 3,112 minus 2,154, that leaves me $958 to kind of play around with. So for technology, I'm going to put $400. That gives me $558. I'm not going to put it in house reno because I don't really need anything that's more decor. We already have the money for like the countertops and all that stuff in another account. This was more for decoration and cleaning, and I really have nothing left to buy. So I'm going to leave that one alone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into my emergency fund. So it'll be $1,558. So what I do with my emergency fund the day I get paid, because my husband and I both get paid on the first of the month, and that's it, I'm going to pull out that $1,558 and go ahead and move it into the emergency fund because I don't want it to even be in my checking account to where I could commingle it with something else. I just like to know that it's already moved. And then at the end of the month, I move gifts. Vacation goes in automatically, and then technology I'll probably move in as soon as I get paid. So the only thing that will remain in the checking account will be this $1,000 right there. So this is an every dollar budget. I love this form of budgeting because I know before I even get paid tomorrow, before I look at my account, where everything, and there's not that moment when you get paid that you think, oh, it's so nice to have all this money, because it's really already spent in my mind because I've already laid out my budget. So I start laying out my budget about the 3rd week of the month. So I do a mock budget first and kind of see if it makes sense, and then I adjust because some things have come in since I did my mock budget. And then I lay it down, and then this is what I'll do my cash stuffing from. So currently I'm planning to pull out $670 for my cash stuffing, and then for the first 2 weeks, and then I'll pull more out for the second 2 weeks because I'll have added things like Thanksgiving. I will probably pull some of this out in cash because I will start my Christmas shopping on week 4 of November. Okay, so that is how it's laid down, and that is kind of my roadmap for the month. So let's go ahead and lay down the kit and prepare for our weekly check-in. So I'm gonna skip the front page. I'm gonna try to do this timely because I am a little slow at this, but for some reason I'm just not good at laying stickers down evenly, but we're gonna try. I do use removable matte sticker paper in my shop for this reason. If you've tried matte paper that is not removable and you don't set it down perfectly the first time, with this paper and with a lot of paper and planners, it will lift the paper as well as the stickers. So I would rather not ruin my planner personally. And then I'll just kind of, one of the questions I got, you know, to start budgeting, do you need the stickers and the, you know, the planner? And I'm like, no, you need pencil and paper. I, for years, have budgeted on the Every Dollar app, and for years I did both, the paper and the app. And honestly, I would forget to update the app. I didn't like it when my transactions were pulled in on the app because I felt like I was putting them in twice. And I didn't like paying every month or every year for that convenience because I didn't think it was that convenient for me personally. I know some people love the fact that they only do digital. They're, you know, them and whoever they're budgeting with can be on the same app. I know my younger daughter uses Mint, and she loves it because her and her husband can both go in and put transactions in. So, you know, again, there's so many options. You need a budget, Excel, just a piece of lined paper, whatever works for you. What I found for me personally, it works when I have a consistent setup and I have a place for my budget. So a place meaning that my budget goes in this book. There's never a doubt where my budget is. And I have it in one place at my house and I know where it is. I pick it up at least a couple times a week and I make sure that everything is updated in there. So I have found that for my personality, I like to know exactly where my budget is at all times. I also use a check register because I like to have, you know in my mind what exactly is coming in and going out at all times. And it keeps me, when I wake up in the middle of the night, to know, you know, if I'm like, did I pay that bill? Did I account for that bill? Or something coming out of the account that I don't know about? It just helps me to sleep better to know. Why can I not find fixed expenses on here? Oh my gosh. Big as life. Big as life. Okay. So I had kind of asked the question last time I set this up if, you know, I'm going to kind of redo a lot of things in the shop, in my Etsy shop, in 2011. And while this works well for me, and the budget kits and custom scripts are two top selling things in the shop. So I know that people kind of like this format, but if there's a format out there that you want to see, we can always customize it if that is something, you know, that you would like to see for you. Okay. This is the first reason why you want removable. This is also normally why I lay this down when I'm not on camera so that I can focus. Okay, so when you look at income, there is strips for income. So the income, like what is the source? What is it estimated? What did you actually receive? And are you plus or minus? So because my husband and I are paid once a month, we have very set paychecks. There's really not, you know, extra money because we worked more hours and like that. We're both salaried. So actually I'm salaried. My husband is retired from his first career and he's working on his second career. So paycheck number 1 is $49.50. Paycheck number 2 is $49.50. My one daughter pays me $180. My other daughter paid me $30 for her phone bill, and then I have an expense check of $154 that my company reimburses me for. And then always drop a line just in case like something random happens and, you know, we get an escrow reimbursement, or I've been selling on Macari and I've kind of been keeping that separate, but last month I did move the money into my checking account so that I could put it in one of my sinking funds. So 49 plus 180 plus 30 plus 154. Okay, yep, it adds. I won't put my lines in and everything just because that takes so much time. So my next one that I lay down are my sinking funds. So we currently, the only debt that we have is our house. We have finally paid off anything else. Now we have not had a car payment in 28 years. Because I've had a company car for 28 years. My husband has a 1998 truck that he still loves, but when he retired in December, he did save for the last like 4 years and buy a BMW. And so that is his car, but my agreement with him was that we would not have a car payment. So he had to pay cash. Which he probably would have anyways, because he really does not like having someone tell him he owes them something. Like, he's really offended if a bank would say, hey, you need to make a payment. He gets very offended, and I just laugh because I'm like, you're really, it's not personal, it's just they're doing their job. But whatever. Okay, so on my sinking funds, I have a lot, and I'm gonna have more next month. So my emergency fund, Christmas gifts, fitness, medical, vacation, house reno, and then my newest one, technology. So I'm not gonna go through this, but it'll be my starting balance, which I walked you through on the sheet, what I'm adding for the month, what I use for the month, and then the ending balance that will roll into my starting balance for the month of December. And then again, I'll skip a few lines just in case something comes up mid-month that I don't expect, that I need to either move money into or figure out a way to pull it out of the budget. And then this over here is lifestyle, groceries, basically my cash envelope. So there'll be groceries, eating out, and straight down the list. So everything that is right here and subscriptions goes into what I consider lifestyle. And again, if I have to cut someplace, I'm going to cut out of lifestyle. And then my weekly check-in, which has been a game changer in my budgeting style, is that I normally checked in every other week, so 2 weeks out of the month. And I wasn't tracking transactions. I was tracking transactions within the cash envelope, but I wasn't, I had a really bad habit of pulling the money out, sticking it in my wallet, and then save my receipt and then try to make sure everything balanced. So I did start writing all my transactions down in the month of September, and it was a game changer for me. So I put the money for the week in my wallet, and that's it. And then the backup money goes into my envelopes in a binder, and they stay home. So I have this month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll have 7. So I'm going to put 10 lines. And the reason why I add extra lines is so that I can you know, if I want to track clothing on here or stickers, that's is money that I leave in my account, then I can track it on this part right now, over here too. So it's broken down by category, the budget, how much I spent, and what I have remaining. Doesn't that look like it doesn't match? Okay, there we go. I think it's just kind of on an angle here because I've got things under here. So I'll go through and I'll make the lines because I like to just line it up so that I'm not kind of going over. And then I usually down here will put a little note section, and that's just notes to myself to say, I went through this category or this envelope by week 3. Maybe I either need to slow down or I need to put more into it. And then, you know, things change. Like last month, my husband was traveling all month, so I needed less in some categories, but then I needed more in other categories. So that's kind of how my envelopes work. I just put the budget that I think is right, and then I can always adjust or move, you know, money during the month. And then this is my weekly check-in. And I honestly feel that this is the part of my budget that I have the most, you know, I love setting up my budget. I love doing the cash envelopes. This is where I feel like it's my accountability. And the fact that I do it on camera makes me really accountable versus just trying to get through the month with whatever cash I have. I really have to make sure that every single transaction is tracked so that I'm not moving money around or spending without realizing what I'm spending. So, you know, if you're new to budgeting, I highly recommend a weekly check-in and just hold yourself accountable for every transaction that's in or out of your account. We don't have a debt snowball. And then what I do is I just put my little weeks on here. So week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. And then when you look at November, so we get paid really tomorrow, but so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to the month, and then there'll be just a couple days. We'll get paid again on the 30th. So I'm not really counting this as a week because, you know, we'll be paid here. So this whole week will be 1 week. So I like to actually put the dates on there. So this one will be the 30th through the 6th. I'm sorry, 30th through, yeah. So I go, no, the 5th. I go Friday to Thursday. So this one, so this will be 10:30 through 11:05. This week will be 11:06 through 11:12. And this will be 11:13 through 11:20. And this one will be 11:21 through 11:30. Is that right? It doesn't seem right to me. Let me look. So 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th. Okay, that's why it doesn't look right. The 19th. 20. And then what I'll do, because this is going to kind of be a few extra days, I'm just going to do this through 11:29. So So this last time is gonna be a little bit more time, but a lot of this money is gonna be out of gifting. So that's kind of the way I look at it. I do my check-ins on Fridays. So check-in, 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 and then I'll do my month-end recap right here. So that is how I set up the budget, how I use the kits, and kind of my thought process. And then what I'll do off camera is just make it look a little prettier by putting in lines and things like that. And then making sure that the money that I think I needed for cash stuffing balances to where I am for the first 2 weeks. And then I look into the envelope that is called bank before I go to the bank, and I use this. So this is all money that I used out of my account, but it was in an envelope, so I put the money in here. So before I stuff my envelope, before I go to the bank to stuff envelopes, I figure out how much I need. Then I take this money first and then pull out the balance from the bank. That way I'm not going to the bank to put this back in because I use my credit card and then turning around and taking it back out in another week or so. So that works for me. I always have a cushion in my account. If I didn't have a cushion in my account, I would not do it this way. I would take it probably right away and put it into my account. So it works for me. I hate going to the bank, so there's that. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, please put it down in the comments, and I will see you in my next video where we're going to be doing October recap and cash stuffing. Thank you so much for watching.